Oh
I
my
was getting
gosh.
ready to do the melody, and I forgot that it was going to cut
Oh,
right there. I always do that in the green room, except usually I'm muted.
oh man. All right. Well, we are underway. So thank you for joining us. Oh, hang on.
Oh,
Yep. There we go. Welcome to No Credentials Required, where you don't need a press pass to talk sports. We are proudly presented by Belly Up Sports. My name is Ryan McCarthy. I'm one of the hosts. To my right is a man who texted his daughter last night when she asked him, "Are you happy?" And he replied, "Yes." Dustin Henry. Dustin, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right, but I'm sure we'll talk about it a little bit. But I was watching that. I was watching mostly for me the second half of the championship game with you, and I was concerned about Mr. Signetti and his happiness level. But you assured me that it's just how he always looks.
Yes. Yes, he is. He has one look: happy, sad, confused. It's all the same look.
It's like Jim Caldwell, man. Remember Jim Caldwell? The people it's mean, but he was so even keeled that people used to question whether he was actually alive on the sidelines or not.
And we assure you he was. We just
Yes,
couldn't tell.
and still is, to the best of my knowledge. But how are you today, sir?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. You know, we're trying something different tonight. So we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, but instead of YouTube, I'm experimenting and we're streaming on Twitch tonight. So for the first time. So if you're watching us on Twitch, welcome. Hit the subscribe button, follow us. We'll be here Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m., Saturdays at 10 a.m. Eastern. Right now, our primary topic of focus is the National Football League and everything that's going on there for the 2025 season, going into the playoffs and such. So, if this is your first time watching us, welcome. Hit the subscribe button. Come follow us. We got plenty of content, live stream content to go over. You can also follow us on YouTube as well. But we're going to do everything. We're talking about the 4 coaching hires made over the weekend, and we'll also cover the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. But before we do that, just want to remind you to please follow us. Follow us on social media. I need to update that graphic. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Just search for No Credentials Required. You can also check out our other podcasts and written content at bellyupsports.com. Subscribe to the podcast in audio form wherever you listen to podcasts, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Amazon Music, iHeart, TuneIn, Pandora, and our host, which is Podbean. Freshly Brewed Podcasts. Hit that notification bell on Twitter and on YouTube, and now on Twitch, so you know when streams go live. When we post clips of the show, which I'm starting to do on a regular basis now for our YouTube channel, and when there are general announcements about the show, or if I decide to crack wise like I did this afternoon, when we found out that Mike Pereira, who is he's the NFL on Fox
I believe it's
rules
Fox. Yeah.
analyst, said to the effect, "Yeah, NFL needs full-time referees." I'm like, catch up, dude.
Yeah.
We've been saying this for years. But yes, so follow us on social media. And also on the podcast side, subscribe to the podcast, rate, review, comment. 5-star rating will be helpful. Leave a review on podcast platforms where you can leave a review. And if you're on Spotify, leave a comment. If you're watching this on the Belly Up Sports YouTube channel tomorrow, or like collaborations page on No Credentials Required, there was a comment below about the 4 hires in the NFL. We still got some jobs that are vacant currently.
Mm-hmm.
Also, talk about your team's performance in the divisional. What do you hope for in the championship round if your team is still alive? And we love the engagement. Again, whether you're watching on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, we love to have audience. We love audience engagement. And the comment section, we'll see it. They'll see it on the YouTube side a little bit later on. But we always play this sound to remind the people at home or wherever they're watching on their mobile phones, maybe they're out and about. This is a time when we play a particular chime. Right,
Yes. Even in the playoffs, in the dead of winter in upstate New York, it's chime time.
Mm-hmm. All right. Before we get to the divisional round, we had 4 NFL coaching hires made during the weekend, Dustin. And we talked about this on Saturday. We talked about John Harbaugh almost putting the ring. Well, the New York Giants almost putting the ring on John Harbaugh. Almost making it official on Facebook that their relationship was indeed, they were in a relationship. Because before it was, we're in a relationship, ... and it's questionable.
Yeah, it's complicated.
But the Giants put a ring on it this past week on Saturday. I think it was right before the Bills-Broncos game that the news came out that the Giants and John Harbaugh officially agreed to John Harbaugh becoming head coach.
Mm-hmm.
But wait, there's more. Later that night, at halftime of the Seahawks-49ers playoff game, we found out the Atlanta Falcons are going to hire Kevin Stefanski as their next head coach. Monday comes around. Not only did we have two hires, we also had a firing. We'll talk about that in the first game of our breakdown the divisional round. We also had Jeff Hafley, who was the defensive coordinator for the Green Bay Packers this season. He will now be the head coach of the Miami Football Dolphins. And finally, late last night, right after the college football championship game ended, and I found out this morning, Robert Salah, former New York Jets head coach, former defensive coordinator of the San Francisco 49ers, has agreed to become the head coach of the Tennessee Titans. So let's go over these. And Dustin, I previewed these in our Discord chat. Find the link in our description. Yeah. Come on, jump in. If you're a sports fan, come on, jump in the conversation on Discord. I decided to test my meme waters and created these memes based off of, well, they'll find out in a second. So I decided I think we should create a meme called Kocher, where you can find your match for your team. So I decided this might be the worst memes I've ever created. I made 4 memes. More coming soon, by the way, folks. As soon as when more hires become announced, I believe the Browns, the Cardinals, and the Raiders, and the Bills, and now the Buffalo Bills are looking for head coaches. So I believe the Browns have completed their second interviews with their candidates. Mike McDaniel, former coach of the Dolphins, is one of those candidates. We don't know what's going to happen with the Cardinals. We don't know what's going to happen with the Raiders. Although last night, Mark Davis, GM John Spytek, and partial owner Tom Brady were at the college football championship down in Miami. Prospectively looking at Fernando Mendoza being the number 1 pick in the draft in April.
Yeah.
Because they also have made an offer to one of the coaches on the sideline last night. You really don't know. I'm just speculating, a little spicy here, but yes, Kocher, it's a match. Harbaugh to the Giants, Kevin Stefanski to the almost to the Ravens. Oh, the Ravens also have a head coaching.
They do vacancy.
That's
and
5.
The Steelers.
The Steelers. It's 10 head coaching vacancies.
Yeah.
10 head coaches fired or resigned during the offseason, man. So Kevin Stefanski to the Falcons. Jeff Hafley, who I don't think even Jeff Hafley's mom knew that he got the head coaching job for the Miami Dolphins. And connections to the Albany area, by the way, for Jeff Hafley. He was the Siena Saints when they had a college football team. He was their wide receivers coach from 1997 to 2000. I think that's around the time the program ended. And then finally, Robert Salah coaching Tennessee Titans. That's right, folks. You can find your match on Kocher. And my buddy Poog checking in saying, nice. I think he loves this one especially. Actually, he doesn't. He's a Ravens fan, but yeah. I put these together. This was
no, that's nice.
just something I just came up in my mind. Again, more of these memes will come as soon as after we get more and more hirings in the NFL. But let's talk about these 4 head coaching positions. Giants announced John Harbaugh as their head coach today. There's a lot more to this than we thought it was. We discussed it on Saturday's show, but I guess everything came down to John Mara, who unfortunately has cancer.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's terminal or if he's just fighting. He was the one who gave the go ahead, and I guess one of the big things was John Harbaugh is not going to report to Joe Shane.
No.
He's going to report to John Mara.
Yeah, this deal hinged on the fact that Harbaugh wanted to report directly to the Maras. So from what I've heard, the Maras made an aggressive push to make this happen. And Joe Shane, to his credit, he stepped aside. He accepted it. So it'll be interesting to see how much input John Harbaugh has on the roster. I have a feeling it'll be quite a lot. Maybe similar to Pete Carroll's former situation in Seattle, where John Schneider was there. John Schneider was a part of it. They worked together, but the final say over the roster was Pete's. That's how it was structured there. I could see a similar arrangement with the Giants and their new coach, John Harbaugh. And I'll keep this brief, but I did watch a clip of the press conference, and I think John Harbaugh brings credibility and stability to a Giants organization that has been looking for it for a little bit, from the head man there, the head coach on the sidelines. And I sent a clip of the press conference to my uncle, who is a Giants fan. We'll see if he appears. Usually when I reference him, he does. But
say his name and he appears.
Yeah, he's very happy. He said, "I'm fired up just watching that." And I think John Harbaugh understands the gravity of the situation, coaching in New York. And he said it's an honor and a privilege. And I don't think he's going to shrink from the pressure. I think he will turn the Giants around in short order.
No, I agree. I agree. And he had a meeting with John Mara, Joe Shane, and Jackson Dart. And they pretty much hammered it out, saying, okay, what is this team's identity going to be? And we've known John Harbaugh's teams to be, on offense at least, run the ball. Run the ball. And have our quarterback, I don't say manage the game, you could say. But Jackson Dart doesn't seem to be a guy who wants to be a game manager. He wants to be a guy who's an impact guy. So we'll see how their relationship goes once the new season starts. So that was today, the formal introduction. But we finalized the deal. They finalized the deal on Saturday afternoon. And then Kevin Stefanski curiously becomes the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. Now, from what I understand, and I got to address this comment here from my buddy Pooh. He says, who will be the next head coach? Yes, who will be the next head coach to be matched on Kocher? All right, any app nerds out there? Hit me up.
Yeah.
Put in the comments here. But Kevin Stefanski, I guess he has a pre-existing relationship with Matt Ryan. I guess they lived in Philadelphia. They both have a common connection. And with Matt Ryan, now the president of football, not president of football operations, the president of football. So dumb for the Atlanta Falcons. He's going to put his stamp on the team. And this stamp on the team is going to be, they have a lot of talent on offense. Let's make no bones about it.
Yeah.
This team is offensively talented. Yes. Defensively, they got the right parts to put together. Their defense made a lot of impact this year in terms of putting things together late in the season. And Atlanta had a push towards the playoffs. Unfortunately, they missed out. But they got the parts on defense. They got the parts on offense. But here's the big question. What will Kevin Stefanski do at the quarterback position? Will they restructure Kirk Cousins' contract? He'll take a sizable pay cut, or just or put it or make something more manageable for the cap for the Falcons. What will they do with Michael Penix? Tore his ACL this past year.
Yeah.
Which allowed Kirk Cousins to come in, and the team seemingly played better on offense with Kirk Cousins in the lineup. We saw glimpses of it during the upset of the Buccaneers on Thursday night, and then got in that shootout with the Carolina Panthers, which, again, if the Panthers and the Falcons meet in Atlanta, it's going to be a shootout. The last two games in Atlanta between the two of them have gone to overtime, and it's been a shootout between both teams. So I've spoken enough about this, Dustin. What are your thoughts about this hire?
This one, I think, offensively makes total sense. All right, Kevin Stefanski. I think people forget because he was kind of put in a messy situation in Cleveland all around because first they tried the Deshaun Watson experience. We all know how that worked out, and it's to the Browns' peril. They're the ones that ran Baker out of town. But anyway, Kevin Stefanski was a former coach of the year. We know he knows offense. He came from
two-time coach of the year.
That's right.
Two-time coach of the year.
And he came from Minnesota, if memory serves, if I remember correctly. And it was when Kirk Cousins, I think, was he still there when Kirk Cousins was on the team? I believe so.
I'll double check, but I don't think he was.
Okay. I could be misremembering my timelines here. But if so, then that means he's got a pre-existing relationship with Kirk Cousins, and it would be a form of offense that Kirk Cousins knows. No,
you were right. Kevin Stefanski was a coach with the Vikings when back in 2018, 2019, Cousins threw 56 touchdowns and 16 interceptions in those two seasons.
Yeah. So I mean,
they are familiar with each other.
These two know each other, and thank you for reaffirming, because I wasn't sure if I was right about that. But
that's right, Twitch. Real-time research is the trademark of the show.
Yes, real-time research, and it will happen. And the thing is, with their pre-existing relationship now, obviously Kirk's older, but it points to me, I think the Falcons are already going in the directions. I think this move kind of telegraphs, okay, they're going to re-sign Kirk. They're going to restructure the deal because it was thought that they were going to release him, but this head coaching hire, this one on offense makes sense. And I think Kevin Stefanski could do some great things with a Falcons offense that has some talent. And I think that's why they realize that they have more talent than this offense has produced in recent years. And I think Stefanski might be the guy to do it because his tenure in Cleveland didn't go well, but a lot of that was not his fault. Some of it was because you're the head coach. You got to take responsibility, but a lot of it was not his fault. I don't know how Andrew Berry still has a job, but that's neither here nor there.
Oh, by the way, Dustin, I got some breaking news for you.
Oh, man. Okay.
Not football related, but it's actually baseball related. So breaking news, folks. Breaking news. Here we go. Carlos Beltran and Andruw Jones have been voted for the 2026 draft in the 2026 class of the National Baseball Hall of Fame.
Oh, man. Both deserving for sure. Andruw Jones, man. What range as a center fielder? What range?
Yeah. Carlos Beltran, another guy who deserves to be in the Hall of Fame for his work as a player with it was with the Mets.
Yep, the Mets. I think the Royals for a few seasons. The Beltran was kind of all over the place, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, Andruw Jones actually he started his career with the Braves and was actually the youngest player to hit a home run in the World Series back in 1996 in that outstanding rookie year. Carlos Beltran started his career with the Kansas City Royals, went to Houston, signed that long contract with the Mets, then went to San Francisco, helped them win a World Series, went to St. Louis for 2 seasons, helped them win a World Series, went to the Yankees for 3 seasons, And he was traded to the Texas Rangers and then ended his career in 2017 with the Houston Astros. I believe he helped them win a World Series with them as well. Yeah, a 9-time All-Star, World Series champion 2017, Rookie of the Year 1999, 3-time Gold Glove winner, two-time Silver Slug Award winner, and won the Roberto Clemente Award in 2013.
Yeah.
And Andruw Jones, also similar type of career. Started with the Atlanta Braves 1996. Played with them until 2007. So he played 11 seasons with them. Then played with the Dodgers, the Rangers, White Sox, put the Yankees, and ended his career with the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles in 2013 and 2014. So,
oh man,
bravo to Mr. Jones and Mr. Beltran. You are Hall of Famers. Good for you.
Congratulations to them both. Like I said, both deserving. And I always felt like Ken Griffey Jr. and Andruw Jones. They brought that sizzle to the center field position in the 90s. That was when center field became another a prestigious position in baseball. Again, there's been a lot of great center fielders, but those are two that carried the torch in the 90s there, the late 90s, early 2000. And also Andruw, I always remember that spelling of his name too. That kind of made him stick out.
Indeed it did. All right, so congratulations to those two. They'll be in the Hall of Fame. They'll be inducted, I believe, in late July. And if I go to my calendar here, July 23rd.
Oh, okay.
No, not July 20, July 26th. It's usually the last Sunday in July that the induction ceremony takes place. All right, back to the NFL.
Yeah.
Monday morning comes around. Find out Sean McDermott fired from Buffalo. Talk about that in the game in the divisional round when we talk Bills Broncos. Then we find out later in the afternoon, found out that the Dolphins had announced on social media, we just interviewed this guy. We concluded an interview with this guy. And also we find out a little bit later, Jeff Hafley, defensive coordinator for a curious name.
Yeah.
Because this name came out of nowhere. Nobody was saying Jeff Hafley is going to be a head coach somewhere in the NFL someday. Well, came out with numerous sources or numerous reports, all the usual suspects, Schefter, Rappaport, all those guys saying that Jeff Hafley is going to be named the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. And if I remember correctly, the last time we saw Jeff Hafley, he was on the sidelines for the Green Bay Packers, and they were blowing a 15-point lead in the NFC wild card to a hated division rival. Yes. So I'm curious about this, Dustin. When you heard about this news, what were your immediate thoughts?
I just thought it was fast. And I don't, like you said, they were saying, oh, we've concluded, and these were the Dolphins posting these status updates. We've concluded our interview with this guy, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden it's like breaking, Jeff Hafley's the head coach. Yeah. So I don't know I guess I think they had a Zoom interview with him, and then they wanted to do another in-person interview. But this one, and I will be the first to admit, I'm kind of a guy that when an NFL guy gets hired, I'm like, okay, makes sense or doesn't make sense. But when a new person gets hired that I'm not super aware of, I'm always kind of like, huh? And it works out. That's how people get their opportunities. I mean, look at Mike McDonald. Everybody they figured out how good his defense was in Baltimore, but now it's obvious he was the pick. And I think teams are starting to go with that trend. But like you said, Ryan, the last impression Jeff Hafley's defense left is not a good one. So it's very interesting. And now, if memory serves, I think the Packers did finish just outside the top 10 of the league in total defense. I think they were 11th or 12th overall. So they weren't a horrible unit. And with Micah Parsons in the beginning of the year, there were times where they looked unbeatable. But then we saw that was not the case. So I'm curious to see what the Dolphins saw that said, okay, this is our guy. But to me, this follows a trend. We look at the Falcons hire. Raheem Morris was a defensive-minded head coach. Kevin Stefanski is an offensive-minded head coach. Josh McDaniel was a deep offensive-minded head coach. This is the Dolphins pretty much saying to me, okay, that didn't work. Let's try this. So this is the one that I have the most question marks about.
Yeah. So looking at Jeff Hafley's career, he wasn't a coach at Siena. He played
out right
at Siena College, now Siena University. He was a wide receiver from 1997 to 2000, graduated in 2001, and he earned his master's degree at UAlbany in 2003. He was actually a defensive assistant with them during his time as getting his master's degree. Then became the defensive backs coach. Went to the University of Pittsburgh, became a defensive assistant, and then became a backs coach with them. Then at Rutgers, then the Buccaneers for a few seasons, then Cleveland Browns, 49ers. Oh, look, coaching tree.
Yeah.
A coaching tree. Was a co-defensive coordinator at Ohio State, then took the Boston College head coaching job. He was there for 4 seasons from 2020 to 2023. Joined the Green Bay Packers after he was let go. By the Golden Eagles. They were actually amassed a decent record while he was there. They went 22-26. They finished 7-6 in his final season at Boston College. Then he joined the Packers as their defensive coordinator in 2024. Yeah, so this is like you mentioned, Dustin. This is kind of a changing of I wouldn't say changing of the guard, but changing of philosophies for sure.
Yeah,
because for the last couple seasons, we've known the Dolphins to be a high scoring, an offensive team. Like their entire team is predicated on offense. They had Tua, Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, Devin Achane. Like those guys were carrying the offense. This year they kind of slipped off a cliff, got off to a slow start, got hot towards the end, missed out on a playoff spot once again. But you also have to wonder if this is going to be there's going to be a rehaul on this team, because they're strapped for the cap. I don't think Tyreek Hill is going to be playing this season after that catastrophic injury he suffered on Monday night against the Jets back in late September. And who knows what they're going to do with Tua Tagovailoa, because they've got a large contract with him, but he's also injury prone.
Yeah.
And I saw a report. What the heck? I saw a report saying that the Jets were going to be linked to Tua Tagovailoa. It's like,
oh man,
come on, really?
Ooh, that's not the answer, I don't think.
No, that is not the. They've also been linked to Malik Willis. They've also been linked to Kyler Murray. Again, not the solution. So there's going to be a change in philosophy for sure down in Miami. It's now going to be focused on the defense. And the defense they don't have a bad unit.
Yeah.
They don't have a terrible unit. They need some help in different places, but their line is solid. They got a decent pass rush with Bradley Chubb et al. So who knows what's going to happen in Miami? It's going to be different for sure. And we're going to move. And then late Monday night, as I'm going to bed, or after I went to bed and I wake up in the morning, I see, the Tennessee Titans. They have agreed to terms with Robert Salah, former the head coach of the New York Jets, defensive coordinator this past season with the San Francisco 49ers. I have some thoughts about this one, because I've seen social media today going crazy, saying, this hire's terrible. He's going to ruin Cam Ward. No. Like, okay, let's pump the brakes a minute, okay? The Titans defense during the Titans as a team were starting to come together late in the season.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like they looked like early in the season, at least, they were going to be the team that was going to be drafting number 1 again in this year's draft. They seem to turn it around. They finished, I think they finished 3-4. I think they finished 3-14 as well, but I'll double check. I think maybe they finished 4-13. I'll double check, maybe make sure.
Yeah.
Oh, they finished 3-14 as well. But they were playing better as the season went along. Their defense is not a bad defense. Jeffrey Simmons, one of the best defensive linemen in football. Obviously, they need some help on the offensive side to help support Cam Ward. They need a running back. They need a wide receiver. They need an offensive line to protect Cam Ward because he was the most sacked quarterback in the NFL this past season. It was him and Geno Smith.
Yeah.
I think Saleh will hire the right people again. Now, I have to wonder two things with Robert Salah. Number one, will he reunite with Jeff Ulbrich and put together a similar defense like he had with the Jets in 2022 and 2023, when they were top 5, top 3 in the league? Because I think he can coach them up to do so. I also have to wonder if he's going to reunite with Mike McDaniel. They have a pre-existing relationship in San Francisco. They were assistants on the squad when Saleh was defensive coordinator. Mike McDaniel was an offensive coach, was an offensive assistant. So I have to wonder if there's a pre-existing relationship there. If McDaniel doesn't get a head coaching job, maybe he joins Robert Saleh's staff and helps unlock Cam Ward, and also bring in some folks who can, if the draft. I believe they have a lot of cap space. I'll double check Spot Track just to make sure. I think they're going to go shot. They're going to do some damage in the offseason in free agency and in the draft, because they'll have more high draft picks. And if they can put the right pieces in, we might see in Tennessee right now, they have $100 million in cap space as of right now.
Okay.
As of right now. Now, again, this is pending for free agency. If they don't sign their current free agents and they cut ties before the new season before the new offseason begins, the new NFL year begins in early March, they could bring in some pieces that's going to help Cam Ward. Receiver, offensive line. You bring in the right coaches too, this team could have a very quick turnaround.
Yeah, it could happen. I mean, that's why I think, and I had said it, I said whichever team hires Robert Salah, I think it would be a good hire. And I like this move by the Titans, and the people that are talking all the mess on it, no. All I said, as long as Saleh gets himself a good OC, he can do some damage, because he is going to turn that defense around. There is no, will the defense improve under Robert Saleh? It will improve under Robert Saleh. And also, he's dealt with the environment in New York before. Did he always deal with it in the best manner? No, but it was his first time coaching. He's probably learned a few things, and Tennessee can be a high pressure environment, I'm sure, because every NFL city can be, but it's not New York. I think this is a good place for Robert Saleh to rebuild his coaching confidence a little bit with a rookie he won't be a rookie by the time Saleh's coaching him, but he has some talent. And just to let you know, Ryan, one of your theories about Ulbrich, I believe the Falcons retained him as defensive coordinator under Stefanski. I thought I saw that.
Let's double check.
He is off the market, but your McDaniel.
Yeah, you're right. They retained him. Sorry. Yeah, I was hoping for a minute. But yeah, they did. They retained him. They're going to retain him. That's a good thing for the Falcons, because he constructed a very good defense, and is starting to construct a very good defense in Atlanta. Had 2 pass rushers who were drafted, and this is going to be a nasty unit next year, I think.
Could be.
But yeah, I have to wonder if Mike McDaniel can't get a head coaching job somewhere. He'll jump on board with Saleh as OC and unlock Cam Ward. And if he does, look out, folks. Yeah. Look out. Look out. All right, let's move on to our primary topic. So secondary. Well, I guess you could say co-primary topic.
Yeah.
And that is the NFL divisional round from this weekend. We'll start on Saturday. Actually, you know what? Let's take a quick commercial break. Take a quick commercial break.
All right.
We come back. We'll talk about all 4 games from this past weekend. We'll take our network mandate commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. So stand by. Stay tuned for more No Credentials Required.
Hey everyone, it's Ryan from No Credentials Required to talk to you about one of our newest partners at Belly Up Sports, SeatGeek. Yeah, live sports is great on television, but the feeling of being at the arena is a priceless experience. That's why our friends at SeatGeek are there to help you find the best tickets at the best prices. Not only can you get tickets to sporting events, but you can also get tickets to concerts, comedy shows, musicals, and more. Search for your desired event now at SeatGeek.com, enter promo code BellyUpSports at checkout, and you save $20 off your first purchase. SeatGeek. Life's an event. We have the tickets.
That's right, folks. Again, thank you to SeatGeek for being a sponsor with Belly Up Sports. Again, lots of great tickets find out there on SeatGeek. Anything that requires a box office ticket, you can find it there. And use promo code BellyUpSports at checkout. $20 off your order of $50 or more. Conditions apply. Not every seat you can use the promo code on, but we highly encourage you to use our promo code BellyUpSports at checkout. You get $20 off your order of $50 or more. All right, let's talk about these divisional round playoff matchups. We're going to start with the Broncos and the Bills. Broncos beat the Bills in overtime 33-30 to advance to their first AFC conference title game since 2015. What did they do in 2015? They won, and they went to the Super Bowl, and they won that game as well. But let's get your thoughts on this game, Dustin. What's your what are your thoughts about this game, about how things went in this game?
So this game, first of all, it was another JR effect candidate. But
where is it?
Oh man,
there it is.
But I do want to say that a lot's been made of the play in OT. And we all know what play it is. Was it a catch? Was it not a catch? And to any Bill fan that is hanging their hat on that being the reason they lost the game, I'm sorry. It's not the reason that you lost the game. And it is rare that you say this, but people trying to boil this game down to that play, the bottom line is Josh Allen did not play well. He did not play well. And to his credit, he stood up there on the podium, and it was genuine, the emotion that he showed after the game. He said, I feel like I let my teammates down tonight. But, this was his worst game since his rookie year or his first playoff run. It's been a while. He threw 2 interceptions, and he had 2 fumbles. James Cook, if memory serves, had the other. But those you can't have that many turnovers. It's going to be hard to win the game when there's that many turnovers. Now, Josh Allen and James Cook, one of our big concerns on Saturday's show was whether the Bills would be able to run against that phenomenal Broncos run defense. They did run against them. James Cook ran for 117 yards, and Josh Allen had 66. But the turnovers proved too costly. All of the turnovers, they led to 10 points by the Broncos or more. I'm trying to think here.
This time it was a touchdown. It was a field goal.
Oh, okay. So I was right the first time. I should have gone with my own instinct there.
Confidence.
I do have to give props to a Broncos offense that we were both skeptical of, Ryan. The Bills, they shut down the run game. I was surprised. The Broncos only had 70 total rush yards, and their leading rusher was Bo Nix with 29 yards. The Broncos run game was non-existent, but this game really picked up late. Both teams went back and forth, and Bo Nix, and we'll get into why this is even more amazing. We've talked about how Bo's regressed this year. Bo's not the same Bo that he was his rookie season, but he made some beautiful throws to this in this one, particularly the throw to Mims. Go back and watch it in OT. It's even more impressive knowing what we know now. But Ryan, I'm sure that you'll address that. But he threw for 279 yards and 3 touchdowns. This was a fun one to watch, especially late. In the beginning, it looked like Buffalo's playoff experience was going to win out. But anyone that's saying that call is the reason Buffalo lost the game, it's not. It's your turnovers. That's what got you. I'm sorry it happened. And we have to wonder after the game, is part of the reason Josh Allen was so emotional is, did he know his head coach was going to be gone? So who knows?
I don't think it would. It would have to be that way. I think it was just so emotional because he knows 4 of the turnovers that he had in this game were on him.
Yeah.
We're on him.
Yeah.
And he knows when he's not playing. He wants to win it. He wants to win a Super Bowl for the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
He wants to do it. There's a team that believes in him. That's the team that drafted him. And he wants to win badly there. So
yeah.
On the chin. Took it on the chin in front of people. And yeah, good. I mean, good on him for doing that. As for my thoughts, again, whenever I say that a game will be this or a game will be that, take it with a grain of salt because I'm usually wrong.
We both were.
We were both wrong in this game. And the JR effect, as you said, Dustin, it showed up early. The JR effect. Business was about to pick up, and it certainly did, at least in the second quarter, because James Cook fumbled. Josh Allen fumbled on that weird. I don't know what he's trying to do. He was trying to do a backwards lateral.
Yeah.
Or I don't know what he was trying to do, but he just kind of threw it backwards and gets recovered, leads to a field goal. So Cook's fumble led to a touchdown. Allen's fumble led to a field goal. So you got 10 points off turnovers. And then we go to the second half, and the Bills are responding. The Bills were down as many as 13 in this game. And they just kept fighting. They kept fighting back. They got a field goal of their own. They scored 17 unanswered. They scored on 23-10, and they went up scoring 14 unanswered points, and they take the lead. And in that sequence, you had not only Bo Nix throwing an interception after the Bills scored a touchdown, but Josh Allen throws an interception. So
they gave it right back.
Give it right back. But it led to a punt. The Bills defense did its job, forced the Broncos to punt. They go on, they marched down the field, they score a touchdown. And all the Bills defense had to do was get one more stop. They needed one more stop to win this game. They couldn't get it done. And Bo Nix throws that beautiful touchdown pass to Marvin Mims to take the lead. But here's the problem, Dustin. Left too much time on the clock. That's why I said to Pete, I was at a friend's surprise birthday party, and her 21-year-old son, I think he's 21. Yeah, 21 or 22. I can't remember his exact age, but he's in his 20s. And we were just watching, and after Bo Nix threw that touchdown, I'm sitting there going, they left too much time. He goes, and my friend's son goes, yeah, they left too much time on the clock. I goes, yeah, and there were a couple of times where Josh Allen and the Bills could have won that game, but he overthrew Dawson Knox on one pass that looked like, and it looked like Dawson Knox was going to be home free after if he would have caught the pass. It would have been home free for a touchdown, and we wouldn't be talking about what happened next because Broncos forced a field goal. We go to overtime. The Bills defense, again, they do their job. They force a punt. Bills get the ball back. They're marching on the field. And here's the thing that killed me. That absolutely killed me with the Buffalo Bills. Their running game, they were doing great.
Yeah.
The Broncos were ranked second overall in rush defense this year.
Mm-hmm.
The Bills had faced the number 1 team the week before. They faced the number 2 team in the divisional. And they were running the ball effectively. James Cook, like you mentioned, he had over 100 yards in this game. But for some reason, it felt like they were still stuck in 2-minute mode when the offense took the field. And it cost them. I think ultimately that's what cost them, because we had the play that everyone's going to be talking about
Yes.
for years. But Josh Allen throwing that deep ball to Brandon Cooks, we think he makes a great catch.
Yeah.
Makes an amazing
That's what it looked
catch.
like.
And that's what it looked like. And that's what it looked like because Buffalo could have won the game. All they had to do was kick a field goal because they had gotten the ball. And as Cooks is falling to the ground, Jaquan McMillan making the heads-up play, taking it from Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks did not secure the football. And it looked like Cooks was down, but McMillan comes up with the ball. And you have to ask yourself, and this is a fair point coming into the last game of the weekend between the Rams and the Bears. What constitutes as a completed pass?
Yeah.
And it didn't really. Now there's no review. There's no coach's challenge in overtime, so McDermott can't challenge the play. It goes to a booth review. Booth review confirms that, yep, McMillan came down with the football, Broncos ball, and McDermott's forced to take a timeout to talk it over with the referee, saying, okay, what happened? And even Gene Steratore was saying, yep, that's the correct call. I'm like, well, how do you know?
Yeah.
This is why we need full-time officiating in football, in the NFL. It's the only league amongst the 4 major leagues that don't have full-time officials. They need to correctly interpret the play. Broncos moved down the field. They get some help from the Buffalo Bills secondary. For a while, it looked like a Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final where the officials are just letting them play. They're letting them play. They're getting away with stuff. I don't want to say getting away with stuff, but they're letting them play. But then we get that defensive pass interference. And we get another defensive pass interference, which leads to the crash out by Tre'Davious White, him getting tossed. And then Bo Nix breaks his ankle. We don't know it at the time.
Yeah.
But on the second to last play of the game, that's when he broke his ankle. And we had 2 consequences from this game. We had Sean McDermott getting fired on Monday. And we have Bo Nix. We've learned at the press conference that Bo Nix broke a bone in his ankle and is out for the rest of the playoffs. He's having surgery tomorrow and he's done, which means for the AFC Championship game, Jarrett Stidham, his backup, will be leading the Broncos onto the field.
Yeah. Yeah, which none of us knew it at the time, but if you go back and watch now after he makes that, he goes back to the sideline. He's walking a little strange on his way back to the sideline, but then you see him on the sideline just grimacing in pain, and now in retrospect, it's easy to spot, but again, he finished the game. We did not know this.
Yep, and Sean Payton with the bombshell, telling the reporters the first news he gives with a broken heart, saying, "Yeah, Bo Nix broken ankle. He's out for the rest of the year." And now we are going into next week. AFC Championship game will be Jarrett Stidham, next man up. All right, we'll lead into the next Saturday game. Seattle Seahawks hosting the San Francisco 49ers. 41-6, the final score. It was 17-6 at the half, and the Seahawks just absolutely just trounced all over the 49ers, shutting the 49ers out in the second half by a score of 24-0. This game, and I'm sure my co-host has a lot to say about it, considering he's a Seahawks fan. But this game was pretty much, it was over at the opening kickoff. Rashid Shaheed, which is probably the best acquisition of the trade deadline, was John Schneider making the call to the New Orleans Saints to Mickey Loomis. Why does he still have a job? I'm sure everyone will agree. They make the trade for Rashid Shaheed, and he's changed that offense. He's changed that special teams. Had that touchdown in the game against the LA Rams a couple weeks back on Thursday night, which helped them rally. And he starts the tone off in this game, getting the 12th man, the crowd at Lumen Field involved immediately. Because again, this was a game that I thought this was going to be another low-scoring game between two teams that got into an absolute heavyweight fight 2 weeks ago in Week 18 that decided the NFC West and the number 1 seed in the playoffs. But it just seemed like the 49ers, after that kickoff return for a touchdown, the 49ers they kind of knew it was over. And on that first series of the 49ers, we saw what thought was a fumble and a scoop and score, but wound up being an incomplete pass. But when you look at it really closely, and Brock Purdy's hand getting hit by the defensive lineman, which caused the ball, the throwing motion, all that stuff, I thought it was a scoop and score. It was a 14-0 before you could say, what the hell? But the Seahawks just kept going. They kept going in this game. Throughout the entire game, they just their offense just kept going. And we talked about Sam Darnold. He was questionable for the game with an oblique injury. It turns out he didn't really need to do much.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was because of the defense and how they were playing. Sam Darnold, here's the stats. 12 of 17, 124 yards and a touchdown. Sacked twice.
Yes.
Because their running game got going. 175 yards rushing. 116 of those were by Kenneth Walker. Also had 3 touchdowns. Unfortunately, Zach Charbonnet is done for the year as well.
Yeah.
He was hurt early in the second quarter, I want to say.
Yes.
When he suffered a knee injury. But special teams was a big factor in this game. He only had 2 returns in this game for 126 yards and that touchdown. But this was just an absolute butt kicking. Brock Purdy, 15 of 27, 140 yards, threw an interception. He was also the leading rusher for the 49ers too, with 37 yards rushing. Because again, Christian McCaffrey limited in this game. He was also suffered a stinger injury late in the second quarter, which again hampered his ability to be a contributing factor on the field. So you had not only Brock Purdy, I talked about how the 49ers, their offense this season was two-dimensional. Whoever was at quarterback, Brock Purdy, Mac Jones, and Christian McCaffrey. Because Christian McCaffrey was not only running the ball, he was also catching the ball in the backfield at times. George Kittle, he's done for presumably the entirety of next season. Maybe he'll come back in the middle of next season, but receivers were rather ineffective. The leading receiver was Jake Tonjes, who had 5 receptions for 59 yards.
Yeah, he was the replacement tight end for Kittle, and he got hurt.
Yeah, and he got hurt in the game too. So it's just like he's like the walking wounded, and there's some sort of conspiracy theory about the practice field for the stadium
practice facility, and there's like a transfer station next to it or something.
Like that. But we're not going to dive into that because we're going to get kicked off of Twitch. But but this was just an absolute punch in the face, and Mike McDonald must have just said, him in the face again, keep doing it until they're down. And even when they're down, keep punching them in the face. like a UFC fight that didn't stop. Because this was an absolute just a beatdown of epic proportions in divisional round. And I thought this would be probably the closest game of all 4 of these games from this past weekend. Turns out that was not the case. And the Seattle Seahawks, I gotta say, they're a wagon right now. Even with the week off, they continue to be a wagon.
Yeah, I have a lot to say about it. I'll keep it brief though, because we broke it. I broke it down on Seahawks session, so I don't like to repeat a lot of my thoughts. But you're right, Ryan. The Rashid Shaheed return set the tone of the game. Actually, I'm going to go to before the game started when Angry Doug Baldwin, old 89, he raised the 12th man flag and he got the crowd fired up. And it just carried right over to the opening kickoff. Let's shout out Jay Harbaugh in the job that he's done on special teams for the Seahawks this season. Their special teams unit has improved a lot. You pointed it out. The Shaheed trade, now they're finally getting him involved. He's finding his footing on the team. I love this Shaheed trade. They also used him for an end-around play after Charbonnet got hurt. They used him for an end-around play. He gained 30 yards on it. I like the way they integrate him into the running game sometime for a change of pace. But really, you hit the nail on the head, Ryan. What really separated the Seahawks in this one is the running game. They ran all over the Niners again because they ran all over them the first time. And Kenneth Walker they're finally figuring out how to use Kenneth Walker in this offense. And it's a good thing too, because Charbonnet, he's out. But this game, and we talked about it a little bit, but if you had said, okay, JSN's going to have 3 catches for 19 yards and a touchdown, and Sam Darnold is only going to throw for 124 yards, you're thinking, oh, this game didn't go very well. Not true. Cooper Kupp had his best game as a Seahawk. He averaged 3 catches per game for the entire season. He had that in the first quarter. He was getting involved. And the defense, Ernest Jones, he recovered the fumble by Jones punched it out, rather. Julian Love recovered it. This defense just kept their foot on the gas. And the Niners, they were reeling from that opening kickoff. You could tell. And Kyle Shanahan made a decision early where I thought he's trying to get his team back in this, but he doesn't know what to do. They went for it on a 4th and 1 after holding Seattle to a field goal. Seattle's up 10-0 at this point. San Francisco gets the ball. They go for it on 4th and 1. They hand the ball off to Kyle Juszczyk, who then tries to pitch it to McCaffrey because he got stopped. If you're dialing up Kyle Juszczyk's number to try to, no disrespect to Juszczyk, he's a great player, but if you're dialing him up to try to go for it on 4th and 1 and you just get absolutely shut down, you knew at that point they had nothing. But anybody, I'm with you, Ryan, anybody that says they thought they saw this coming, they're lying to you. About the only person that said they knew this was going to happen, and he predicted 31-6, was John, a regular viewer of Seahawks sessions. He lives in Oregon. He was like, they're going to beat him 31-6. And we were all like, walk it back. Well, he was right. And Jake Bobo was getting involved in this game, a Jake Bobo sighting. But man, no one saw this coming. An absolute, you went over the stats, Ryan, so I don't have to, but this was, let me just close by saying it's not the Tartarol, Shanahan. It's not the Tartarol, because I saw your press conference after and you seemed a little salty, and I get it. It's in the heat of the moment, but no, you just got boat raced, okay? And the final stat I will leave you with, Brock Purdy ran trying to extend plays. He ran a total of, they're not rushing yards because they were yards of him trying to scramble out of the pocket, extend plays, do things. He ran like 342 total yards because he was trying to escape the Seahawks and extend plays the entire night because his receivers, they were covered.
Yeah. Now you say it was a Harbaugh on the special teams for the.
I thought it was Jay Harbaugh. Yeah.
Let's do some real-time research.
I believe it's Jay
why
Harbaugh.
not?
He's part of I think
part of the coaching family of Harbaugh's.
I think so, because Mike McDonald was in Baltimore. I think that's where it stems. I think it's Jay Harbaugh, special teams there.
Coaches: Mike McDonald, Jay Harbaugh. Yep, there he is.
I mean, they're we got to give
looks like a Harbaugh too.
Oh man!
All right, we got to move on to the Sunday games.
Yeah,
which I thought the Sunday games were. It sucks because the most entitled fan base on social media and the whiniest fan base on social media got their freaking way. As the Patriots in the early match, the AFC Divisional, they took care of the Texans, the Houston Texans. I'm thinking about the Dallas Texans. I'm thinking about the Kansas City Chiefs. 28-16. I'll give my thoughts on this game as my co-host tries not to choke. When I said on Saturday, I asked the real CJ Stroud would stand up. Unfortunately, he stood up. And then he got repeatedly sat back down. Texans defense, they were doing their part in this game. They were as advertised. 5 sacks on Drake May. 3 of those sacks were by Will Anderson Jr. They had 2 strip sacks. One of them was recovered. Couldn't do jack with it. I think they scored a field goal off of it. That was pretty much it.
Yeah.
Or CJ Stroud gave it right back. But the thing is, Stroud, the Texans offense, they weren't doing themselves any favors. Part of it was the pass rush of the part of it was the fact that the O-line's terrible. The O-line isn't that good. I thought this was going to be a similar game to what happened on Monday night during the wild card, where, all right, you have 4 turnovers. Second half, they took command. The Texans took command. The defense did their job. They shut out the Steelers, and they're moving on. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case because, for whatever reason, I don't know why, DeMeco Ryans decided to stick with C.J. Stroud. After the first half was over, we threw those 3 interceptions, had a fumble, and the offensive line wasn't helping Stroud. The receivers weren't helping Stroud. They had that one interception that bounced off the shoulder pad of Stevenson.
Yeah.
That was the one that got picked off, that took him back for a touchdown, for the pick 6, the hot pocket. But I have to wonder why DeMeco Ryans decided to stick with CJ Stroud, because if I remember correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Dustin, Stroud got his hand stepped on by either a Patriots or his own offensive lineman sometime in the first quarter. And that seemed to have affected his grip. That seemed to have affected the way he was throwing the ball. And that was part of the reason why he threw 4 interceptions in that game. Part of it had to do with the pass rush of the Patriots because the offensive line was not playing great. Let's face it. They had their worst game of the season. They had their worst game at the worst time. And it's for some reason the Texans can't seem to get past that hump in the divisional. Never have been able to. But I have to wonder if DeMeco Ryans is, maybe he's kicking himself a little bit, because you have to wonder if maybe he puts in Davis Mills in the second half, their fortunes, they change, and they're going to play on Sunday in Denver. But second half only had 6 points, and Patriots, Drake May, they did their job. They wore down the Texans the entire second half. Now they're moving on to the conference championship. Damn it. Here's a fact, Dustin. I want a little trivia question for you.
Okay.
In the last 17 seasons of the AFC Championship game, the Patriots, there's been 3 teams that have been in the conference championship. The Patriots are 1, the Chiefs are 2.
Yeah.
Who's the 3rd team?
Well, just by the way that you're framing this, and because of the fact that I know that the Chiefs had such a run there, because they went to so many AFC Championship games for the entirety of Mahomes' career, and then the Patriots did a similar thing before that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say it's back when Rex Ryan was still roaming the sidelines.
Yep. The New York Jets. So from 2009 to 2000 to this year, the championship of the AFC, 3 teams have been a constant. The Patriots, the Chiefs, the New York Jets, and the New York Jets have not been back to the playoffs since that 2010 championship game. Depression. But I want to hear your thoughts about this game, Dustin. What were your thoughts about this game?
Well, I'll start off by saying this is the only game I got right. I said on Saturday that the Texans defense would do enough to keep them in this game. They did. But I also expressed concerns about the Texans offense and their ability to get anything going, citing the fact that they had played the Seahawks on Monday night earlier in the season, couldn't do anything despite a great defensive performance by the Texans to kind of keep them in that game. The Seahawks came out scoring fast, and then the Texans kind of shut it down for the rest of the game. But then also without Nico Collins, CJ Stroud, Nico Collins is kind of like his security blanket. And I also expressed hesitancy at whether the Texans would be able to muster a rushing attack. They did not. They had 40 total rush yards. 40 total rush yards. Now, it's not like, conversely, it's not like the Patriots blew them off the field with some huge rushing total. The Texans limited the run. But the Texans offense became one-dimensional because they could not get the run going at all. And also, as you mentioned, CJ Stroud throwing 4 interceptions. I'm with you, Ryan. He did not look right. And we could talk about whether CJ Stroud has regressed and everything, but credit to the Patriots. They came out and they did what they had to do. They drove early on this Texans offense. It was kind of surprising. They went kind of right down the field and scored a touchdown. And I went, uh-oh, what's going on here? But then the Texans defense righted the ship to some degree and did enough to keep them in this game. But Drake May was able to find some opportunities. One of them to Keyshawn Booty. I will never tire of saying that name. But man, this was the only game that I was right about. I did not think the Texans offensively would be able to do enough to keep up with the Patriots. And hey, let's give the Patriots, as much as we don't want to sometimes, let's give them their flowers, because their defense has upped their play in the playoffs for sure. Their defense has upped their play. They've been able to pressure quarterbacks for two consecutive games now. They did it against the Chargers. They did it here against the Texans, albeit, like you said, the Texans offensive line, it leaves a lot to be desired. But Patriots move on.
Dang it. So that's the most entitled fan base on football fan base on social media. We're moving on to the whiniest as the LA Rams go into Chicago, beat the Bears 20-17 in overtime. Dustin, look at your thoughts about this game.
Well, okay, I was wrong about this game because I thought the Bears would be able to pull out another fourth quarter comeback. And this game was not the offensive shootout that we thought it was going to be either. This game was really, shout out to both defenses, because, the Rams defense, we know that they're good. We know that they're good. But the Bears defense has been leaky except for turnovers. They have been very good at causing turnovers. And this game shocked me. And it felt like late season football, though. You had the snow like coming down in Chicago. It was cold there. But what really was the difference in this game for me? Yes, Caleb Williams made an amazing throw to take this game to overtime. I still will not understand how he was able to find Colston Loveland in the back of the end zone after when a defender was all over him for the Rams. I thought he was getting sacked. I thought it was over. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. The Bears, they've been the comeback kings, and it's been because Caleb Williams, it's almost like he's eating spinach, like he's Popeye in the fourth quarter, and all of a sudden he just comes alive. That did not happen in this fourth quarter. He had the great touchdown pass, yes, but he also threw 2 interceptions in the fourth quarter, 2 costly interceptions. He threw 3 for the game, but last fourth quarter, contrast that with the one that he had against the Packers, where he threw for 150 yards in the fourth quarter. He went off. This did not happen against the Rams. The Rams, you could tell the Rams kind of confused him, and they did what they do. You gotta take your hats off to the defense. I think Chris Shula's got him doing some great things in LA. Everybody thinks about Sean McVay's offense, but credit to the Bears. They kind of kept the Rams in check. But Matthew Stafford, the wily veteran that he is, this was a hard-nosed football game. There were runs by Swift. There were runs by Kyron Williams on both sides. This was kind of a smash-mouth game by my feel, and neither team really is that to me. These teams are both offensive teams in my estimation, but this was not a shootout. This was kind of a defensive – slugfest a little bit.
Yeah. And again, another game that I thought was going to be one thing and it turned out to be completely opposite of what I thought it was going to be. I thought it'd be the highest scoring game of the weekend. Well, it turned out that I would say, the Broncos-Bills, which I thought was going to be one of the lowest scoring games of the weekend, turned out to be the highest scoring game of the weekend. But basically, this game came down to a couple of plays. The first play, another controversial catch that could have been a fumble, but was ruled a catch.
Yeah.
That happened at the 11:18 mark of the fourth quarter. Stafford finds Davante Adams for 12 yards. It looks like the ball is stripped and the Bears take possession. Now, this time, the score was tied at 10. And they go to replay and they confirm it. Davante Adams was down by contact. So the Rams keep driving. They score the touchdown and they take the lead. Now, again, this comes back to Saturday's game. The early game was Brandon Cook's reception to catch. Was he down? And in the replay, you could see Davante Adams' knee was down before the ball is stripped. No question about it. But again, this goes back to full-time referees, interpretations of the rule. Different referees have different interpretations of the rules, and they let the players play a certain type of game. That was the first play. The second play, that touchdown pass. That touchdown's pass, like the Brandon Cooks reception that taken away, that play is going to be talked for a long, long time. Now, someone I know who's actually been a part of our program before, with Belly Up Sports, he asked, "All right, is this the greatest playoff catch of all time?" And it was the catch from Williams to Komet that tied the score up to take the game back to overtime. I said, of the past decade, certainly it is. Of the last 25 years, it ranks up there. In Bears history, absolutely. Of all time, to be determined. Because we got lots more football coming down the road in the future. But that was the longest 14-yard touchdown pass I've ever seen. Because Caleb Williams was scrambled back, was forced back, and to at least I'd say somewhere between the 40 and the 45-yard line of the Rams. Yeah. And he just decides, all right, screw it. I'm going to chuck it and see what happens. And Cole Kmet breaks off of Kobe Durant, who for some reason stops defending him. And Cole Kmet's right there, touchdown. And the Bears, and now the Rams were appealing for a push off. They thought Cole Kmet pushed off, but again, you look at replay, and Kobe Bryant had just given up on the play because he thought, all right, the defensive line's going to take care of it. This game's over. He's just going to chuck it and he's going to throw it out of bounds. Didn't throw it out of bounds. He threw an absolute bucket pass to Komet. That was the second play. The third play, in overtime, Bears are driving. It's their possession. It's their possession. They had forced a 3-and-out on the Rams on defense, and at their own 48-yard line of the Rams. And for whatever reason, I'm not sure what happened here. It's one of two things. I think it could have been Caleb Williams just got short of the pass. It could have been that the wrong pattern was called or was ran by DJ Moore. It could also have just been the giving up on the play by DJ Moore. But Caleb Williams throws another ill-timed pass, winds up in the arms of Curl, the defensive back for the Rams. The Rams drive down. Don't have to go short. They only have to go a short distance to get within the 24-yard line. And Harrison Mevis, former New York Jet roster practice player. A lot of former New York Jets on all 8 of these teams this weekend. Kicks the field goal, and the Rams are headed back to Seattle. I have to wonder, after all the traveling the Rams have had to do,
Yeah.
if it'll affect them on Sunday. But we'll talk about that on Saturday morning at 10 a.m. because that's when we're going to preview the conference championship games. So I guess that's where we'll wrap it up for now. I keep paying attention to Adam Schefter's timeline on social media to see if there's any breaking news, and there currently is not. The only news he's really given is that he retweeted Pittsburgh Steelers tweet from a couple hours ago saying that they have completed an in-person interview with Brian Flores for their head coaching position. What did I say? What did I say in this program last week? I said, watch that name. Watch that name for Pittsburgh. But I was going to say something else in regards to Chris Shula. Dolphins. What were you thinking?
Yeah.
Chris Shula is Don Shula's grandson.
Yeah.
Could have had another Shula coaching the team, but no.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. And with what he's done with the Rams defense, I mean, I'm surprised. I'm not sure if he got interviews or not. I can't recall because so many teams posted that they completed their interview with this person or that person or this person. But man, yeah, that to me was like a slam dunk.
Yeah. So we're going to get out of here. Before we do, again, thank you to anybody who's been on Twitch and stopped by just to check us out for a couple of minutes. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for stopping by on Twitter, on Facebook. We'll replay this on our page and on the Belly Up Sports YouTube page later tonight. But in the meantime, we want to encourage you to follow us. Follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Just search for No Credentials Required. You can also find us additional written content and podcasts at bellyupsports.com. On the podcast side, hit the subscribe button and listen wherever you listen to podcasts, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Amazon Music, iHeart, TuneIn, Pandora, and Podbean, which is our host, Freshly Brewed Podcast. Hit that notification bell on Twitter and on YouTube so you know when shows go live, when video clips go up on the site, when there's general announcements, all that stuff. So give us a follow across the social media landscape. Thank you again for joining us on No Credentials Required, where you don't need a press pass to talk sports. We are proudly presented by Belly Up Sports. For Dustin Henry, I'm Ryan McCarthy. Back here Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, to preview the conference championships, and maybe we'll see if there's been any more matches on Kocher.
Yeah. Fire up the app.
Yep. Fire up the app, NFL teams. Find your coach today. But we're going to get out of here in the meantime. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern. Conference championship breakdown. More head coach hiring. Find out there's more head coaches that have been hired. 5 vacancies. There are 4 down, 6 to go. But we're going to get out of here. Enjoy the rest of your week. Stay safe. If you're somewhere that's cold, stay freaking warm because it's absolutely frigid where we are in the capital region of upstate New York. So we're going to get out of here. Have a great week. Have a safe week. Be back here Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern to stream live, and then the replay a little bit later on the Belly Up Sports YouTube page. So thanks for joining us. Have a great week. We'll see you Saturday morning.
Sorry, I got the Chicago tight ends crossed up, everybody. That happens from time to time. We were live. Good night, everybody.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.